Hey everyone, welcome back. This is the Fist. I know a lot of people have been getting their feet wet with this long range stuff, and since I've never done one on a quad, because on airplanes it's way easier, less interference, I want to break through this very budget build right here that I got. And hopefully it helps somebody. If it doesn't, that's fine too, but I'm hoping that it helps somebody that wants to get their feet wet for as cheap as possible, and that's basically what I went for here. I want basic, but I want it reliable. So what I went with right here are these Racer Star, which in my opinion I will go with the Sam Gooks, probably, because it's the cheapest way to go about it. 2306. The reason I went 2306 is because if I decide I want to move this to a 6-inch later, 2306 would easily swing this 6-inch prop. I could just move it off of this frame and move it to a 6-inch frame. Also, this is the Aurora RC stack. I'll show that to you later. I put a Caddx turbo camera in here, but you could also use the cheaper version, and I'll show you that as well. This frame is the FPVKING VX220. These are HQ 5x4x3x3, and the antenna of your choice. I'll probably go with an Amway if you wanted to go extremely cheap, because I knew I was going to go ridiculous ranges with it as far as I could. I used a TBS antenna I had laying around, but obviously this is an extra expense. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do this, and you don't have to do that. There's cheaper versions, and I'm going to show you that. Also, I have it retrofitted with the R9M receiver. As you can see, it's a very tight stack in there, but it does fit. Another thing I do like about this frame is that I can go top mount or bottom mount. In this instance, I went bottom mount so I could put a camera up top. I'm using the Hawkeye Firefly for now. And if I decide to go SJ4000, 5000, 6000, or a GoPro, I can do that later. Happen to have those laying around. Alright, let's show you the parts on the screen. Alright, so here we have the FPVKING frame, the X220. It's a 20 size frame, 4mm arms, 2mm cross brace. That helps with vibrations to an extent. Now I found this to be the cheapest, where I could fly 5.1 and 5.2 props. If you could find a 6-inch frame around this price range, give or take, I suggest you do. Obviously, it's going to help with efficiency. The stack that we're going to pair this with is going to be good till success. And there it is, the Aurora RC C3 Fly Tower. I like it because 600 milliwatts, very inexpensive, MMCX connector, and F3, so you don't have to worry about soft serial or anything to that extent. Plus, if it's cheap and you ditch it, you're not as worried about it. Here we have the budget camera. It's the Caddx Turbo EAS02. This is the cheaper version. I did not go with this version, but this is also an option. I spent the extra $5 and I got this Caddx Turbo Micro F2. I like the 16:9. I like the 1200 TVL, and basically it was worth the extra $5 to me. Here's the budget antenna, Amway antennas. This is probably as cheap as you can get, being reliable. They're very durable. I've had some for a year and a half, multiple crashes, never broken. That being said, this is where I would spend some of the money for the range. Antennas and range matter. So now I'm going to show you some flight footage. My testing was done at 10 milliwatts for the R9 module on a Taranis QX7. And it was only done at 400 milliwatts on video. And 400 milliwatts on video was plenty of range for this short test I did. But I'm just giving you guys a last look at the frame. Hopefully the lighting's okay. This right here is Duralock. I like Duralock for one reason. For this Hawkeye, it's very easy. It just clicks. I'm sure if you watch Nick Burns, you've heard a lot about Duralock. It's very reliable. It's very stiff. Now that shouldn't be your sole way of attaching. I also use a micro strap that I use for my 3 inches. I throw it through here and it goes underneath the top plate, and that way the Duralock keeps it from shaking, which is great. Very steady video. And then the strap keeps it from disappearing if I do crash, and believe me, I did crash, and if it weren't for the strap it would have been long gone. But that Duralock is fantastic. So here I am in my inner city park. There's a cell phone tower not a block away, and there's also a news station not a block away. It's a busy park, it's inner city, and I try to fly as close to the ground as possible to really test the range and the reception. There's going to be a little bit of interference in the FPV video only because of all the moisture on the ground. We had a bunch of snow melt. And also, I try to get as close to the ground as possible to push the limits of what the video and the range can do. That being said, with 10 milliwatts of RC power on the module and 400 milliwatts of video, I think it did very well, and I'm very impressed with the system so far. So here's my flight footage. Enjoy. Now back to the frame. The arms are thick. I have crashed with this. You can see that I have broken some of the heat shrink already. I have crashed it. The props are muddy. This has been used and it has been abused. It hit a telephone pole. It had a power pole, and no damage. One thing I've heard that has weaknesses, I haven't seen it for myself, is this brace right here, which is really good because it reduces vibration overall, which you don't want in your camera. But I heard that this, with a direct hit, could possibly break. It seems pretty thick, 2 mil, but it's a possibility. Same with the rear one, but the rear one obviously has less chances of getting impacted. The frame itself held up fine on those 2 crashes. I didn't see any damage or any splintering of the frame. And now let me tell you a couple things I did just to ensure that I get no noise in my video, because a lot of the range in your video is going to be determined by how clean the video is, and you want to clean out as much as possible. Now this might have been a little bit of overkill, but I put a 1000 UF capacitor on the power cable, and also something that a lot of folks probably know to do, but I'm going to say it out for everyone who doesn't know, is the 5-volt rail. Instead of soldering on a capacitor, what I did was I took a 3-pin connector. It goes into one of these guys like that. I took a 3-pin connector. I took a 330 UF capacitor. I slid it into the appropriate pin slots for that 5-volt rail. Liquid electrical tape. Cut the pins short because that matters. Slide it in. Heat shrunk it, so now it's a permanent install. But if I decide I want to pull it out later, or if I need to change it or upgrade or anything like that, all I have to do is pull it out. I secured it with a little bit of liquid electrical tape. You can secure it however you like. I just wanted to keep as much barrier between the capacitor and the antenna cable, and therefore I put a little electrical liquid tape right there. Alright, so as you can tell, I was getting over a 5-minute flight with this, and this is not the most efficient build you can make. I'm sure you can get way better. 6-inch obviously, 51 with a low pitch, 52 with a low pitch will fit on this frame. Also, something I do different is one of these motors is kind of sticky. I think it's this one. It's kind of sticky, and I feel like it's eating up more battery. That being said, I was still getting easily, using freestyle moves and all, 5+ minutes of flight. I'm thinking that if that motor wasn't sticky, I could get 6, easily in excess of 6. I have my low voltage battery alarm at 14 under power, so you would see that in the video in the short clip at the end. Also, something I do different is I change this to a 90 degree. It comes with a 90 degree, but I do that different. Another thing I might do different is cough up the extra money and pay for the AKK Ultimate 1200 milliwatts. You can never do with too much power. Granted, that does take some battery power, but I think it's worth it in a long-range build. But so far, I'm pretty happy. I did not spend a lot on this. There's no reason why you have to break the bank in order to get into long range. If you just think you're going to fly up a mountain or twice, or through a bando once or twice, maybe in your year, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I think this will do well for you. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Also, I'm going to link everything that I've shown so far in the comments below. Thank you for watching.